590 WEZE Boston.
It's God's side and the other
Or
side.
the other side.
For all of them, it don't matter.
Unbelievable.
Whoever you is. Ay, everybody get exposed.
Am I coming in good, Kevin?
But it's the narrow.
Loud and clear, my friend.
All right, fantastic. Listen, this is Amazing Great Sports Network, and I'm on the road in Leicester, Massachusetts. Beautiful Western Massachusetts country out here in front of a Starbucks because they have Wi-Fi and it's free. Welcome, everybody.
What a country.
What a country. Welcome, everybody. I am here for you, and you are here for us. 844-249-5247, 844-249-5247. Enjoy the scenery, and let's get right into prayer. Father, thank you. Thank you for this country. As you can see, I'm wearing my 4th of July One Nation Under God sweatshirt. And thank you for this country. Thank you for putting this all together. This isn't easy. Keeping a country, establishing the country is hard. Keeping the country is even harder. And the fact that for 200 years, America has existed, 250 years, even more, it has existed. And, it's still going and it's still doing good. My prayer is that all people work together. Let's just not make it one way where we're beating a certain, uh, you know, people over the head, telling them they got to do this, they got to do that, we all have to do that. We all have to learn how to love. We all have to learn how to take care of each other. We all have to dig down and start looking at ourselves as the problem. Yes, Black, white, Asian, Spanish. All of us have to look at ourselves as the problem for what is not going right in this country. And it's easy to make it right. Get down on your knees and pray. Pray in the morning. Pray in the noontime. Pray at night. Pray to be a better person. And that'll make this country great again. Amen.
Amen. Clay, did you have a nice 4th of July?
I had a great 4th of July. I drove up here and I spent the first part of it, the early morning, with my wife. And we sat around and just looked at each other with starry eyes because we're so much in love after 25, 30, 40, 50. I don't even know how many years. Seems like an eternity. I'm just teasing. I had a good 4th of July. I had a great one. How about you?
Very good. Very good. Always a good 4th of July. And hope all of you out there as well enjoyed it as America celebrates 249 years of its...
Is it 49 years?
Yes, indeed. 250 next year in 2026, which will be
there we go.
A great year. So anyway, hope you're all doing well here on the first Saturday of June. We're going to get into our Today in History questions for the day and then begin our show topics covering today. Well, of course, the Red Sox, the Celtics, and the free agency of the NBA, maybe some NHL. And we'll continue it with your phone calls as well. But for now, we'll go with starting off with our Today in History.
What you got for us, Kevin?
Today in History.
Is this the music? The music didn't work last week. We have to make sure things.
We got it this time.
Indeed. So a couple of questions for everyone here today. On July 5th, going back to 1924, here's a tennis question. Of course, the Wimbledon going on right now. And in the first all-French Wimbledon's men's tennis final, Jean, I may butcher this name, Boratra beat fellow countryman René Lacoste 6-1, 3-6, 6-1, 3-6, and 6-4. What was Jean's nickname? If you are familiar with 20th century tennis, well, this one is for you. And if you know the nickname, without even looking it up, if you know the nickname, I'll be very impressed.
Well, I'll give a hint. He was a Basque. He was a Basque, which is a section of France. So
well, that's more than that's half the answer. But there we go. So we'll see if anyone
has to think of the other half. We will both be very impressed if you get this. It's going to take a little research anyway. I'll take the next one. On June 5th, 1991, American jockey Ray Sibili won his 3,000th career race aboard Sporting Surf at Pleasanton, California. And our question is, what jockey hosts the most wins in American history? What jockey in North America hosts the wins for the most what jockey in North America has the most wins in the history of North American horse racing? Get that one, and you're really good.
And I'll be equally as impressed. So we go from 20th century tennis to 1990s American horse racing. We'll go now to this century and more recently, July 5th, 2018, the Red Sox with a team. Oh, look back down memory lane with Mookie Betts.
Look at that, baby. Look at that.
Andrew Benintendi, Xander Bogaerts, Jackie Bradley, Rafael Devers, J.D. Martinez. Remember those guys? They defeated the Detroit Tigers 6-0 en route to their World Series win, of course, in the summer of that year. Who was the MVP of the World Series several months later? You may remember him.
It's not one of those guys.
Not one of those guys who we just mentioned. It's the guy that the Red Sox acquired at the trade deadline and came in and made immediate impact. And a great veteran right-handed bat. But
unbelievable. Get that one, and the world will be impressed.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, three interesting questions. If you are an avid sports fan, maybe you'll get one of them. But if you're a really, really intense sports fan that knows all sorts of these questions, well, you may get these ones. Tennis, horse racing, and baseball.
You're the guy. Since we're talking about baseball, we're going to jump right into baseball. The Boston Red Sox. They are 4-6 in the last 10 games. Yes, they have looked terrible at times. Yes, they have appeared clueless. And yes, Alex Cora is trying for the title of the worst manager in baseball in 2025. And I'll quantify that later. Yet they're only 6.5 games out of first place. Where do they go from here, Kevin? And what player holds the key to their future?
Well, not just that, Clay. The Red Sox 6.5 out of the division, but they're also just 2.5 back of a third wild card spot in the American League right now with the way things are going. The American League East is having some reshuffling, Clay. If you haven't been paying attention, well, you should start to now if you're a fan of the MLB. We have a new leader in the American League East, which has been held down by the Yankees now for at least the last 3 to 4 years. The Toronto Blue Jays have taken advantage of the Yankee slumps and have won 6 games in a row. The Yankees have dropped their last 5, swept at the hands of the Blue Jays up in Toronto, 4 games. Their last series had just lost to the Mets on Friday afternoon.
Yesterday.
Queens.
Thanks to Juan Soto, their former player last year.
Yep, exactly right. So right now we have a logjam at the American League East right now with Toronto now 2 games in front of the Yankees. The Rays tied with the Yankees, for second place. Both share a record of 48 and 40. The Red Sox 6.5 back at 44 and 45, looking to get back into 500. Clay, I'll say this: the Red Sox are 6.5 out now here on July the 5th on this Saturday. With the way things are going in the American League East, if the Red Sox start to heat up, which by all indications we're starting to see a little bit here against a lowly Washington Nationals team on Friday morning, we'll take it. Win's a win, 11-2. And I will say, with the way the American League East is this year, the Red Sox get hot. Any one of these teams gets in a cold streak, the Red Sox could find themselves right back in this. They're only 4 games back of the Yankees and the Rays in the win column. So a lot can happen here. We're still ways to go as we approach the dog days of summer, where wins, you need to win. You need to win. There's no doubt about it. And especially coming up here for the Red Sox, you've got 2 more games down at Washington against the last place Nationals in the National League East. And then you come back home to face the Colorado Rockies, who are the worst team in the MLB. And then you finish off at home against the Rays, who you've actually played pretty well against this year so far before you head into the All-Star break. So these next series for the Red Sox are absolutely critical. No excuses for them not to at least take 2 or 3 from the Nationals. At least, sweep the Colorado Rockies, who are a really bad team, and play the Tampa Bay Rays well. No excuses for this Red Sox team if they are serious about putting their foot on the gas, and not just putting it there, but keeping it here. I mean, we've seen spurts of this before. I feel like I'm a broken record here, but, at times, I said this last week, you really start to like this team, Clay. You really think they're going to turn a corner, and then they take you a step back. So took 2 out of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds. They look good, and let's keep it going against Washington Nationals. But I will say, Clay, one thing and one player I want to talk about. You've heard me speak about him before, what sort of missing pieces the Red Sox have yet to bring in. And, we finally have gotten to see him, and I think he's been better than what I think a lot of people have expected him to be. And that is Lucas Giolito, who the Red Sox signed last year to a 2-year deal, was hurt, missed all of last year, has dealt with a number of different injuries, particularly with his arm in recent years. And the Red Sox finally have kept him healthy, and he is contributing in a way that has really kept the Red Sox, I think, afloat along with him in Garrett Crochet. We'll say, though, in his first 7 starts, he was absolutely terrible. He owned a 6.42 ERA, allowing 24 earned runs over 33 and a half innings. Batters were hitting 324 off him, and he just looked
He was a little
really
rusty. He was rusty.
looked a little rusty, and
Yeah.
just really inconsistent. But after that, following that horrible start on June the 4th, a month ago today, yesterday, when he recorded just 5 outs, Clay, and gave up 7 earned runs and 8 hits. Since that time, he owns a 0.83 ERA, 31 strikeouts, 32 and 2/3 innings in those 5 games since, 4 wins, lowered his ERA, Clay, from 6.42 entering June 10th to 3.66 after his 7 and 2/3 start against the Washington Nationals on Friday.
Okay,
This
let me jump in here while you have Lucas Giolito up on the board. Because he's one of the guys that I want to talk about that has to do with Alex Cora. Um, I thought the Red Sox were the team to beat coming into this year. They were the team. Okay, they got off to a slow start. I wanted them to bring the rookies in just to light a fire underneath the veterans, and they didn't do it. It was the perfect opportunity. I thought to institute a team first mantra. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter who you think you are. If you're not putting out, we're going to try to get somebody in who can. But that never happened, and the team became complacent, and they continued to struggle. Now, when Costas got hurt, it was another perfect opportunity to shake it up and say it's a team first. We're gonna do this for the team. And Rafael Devers was that guy. He balked at playing first base. They should have sat him down then, and that would have made the team galvanize against management possibly, but also would have gave that message. Okay, listen, it's team first. Then they had a second chance of doing it when Bregman went down and Devers barked again. But they had this chance of sitting him down again, the perfect opportunity, and bringing this team first mantra. It did not happen. They ended up trading him. I mean, and to me, out of all that, Alex Cora is the one who dropped the ball because Alex Cora is the guy who speaks Spanish. He's the one doing all the interpretation, the back and forth in between management. He's the one trying to implement the right motivation, the right attitude, the right idea, concept of the team first, and he dropped the ball. And I can't stand that Alex Cora keeps letting Lucas Giolito pitch past the 7th inning. Here's a guy who's coming off major arm surgery, and for the last 2 or 3 years, they've had to deal with it. Limit him. It's a long season. Yesterday, they were 11-1. It was 11-1. There's no need to have that guy out there. If you can ever pull a guy out, pull him out at that time because it's not even close. You got closers for that. He kept him in there. And so it ended up, a run scored in the whole 9 yards. But that's not my point. My point is save the guy. Do you care? Because this is simple math. Save this guy's arm. Save him. Don't let him go out there pitching tired. Because if he's going out there trying to press in the 7th inning and he hurts himself, that just looks stupid. There was no reason to do it. The game was not on the line. But going forward, not just Lucas Giolito. Is there anybody else you think going forward might make a change in the team or power it?
Well, yes, I do. And don't remind me, though, I want to come back to your Giolito point. There is a guy we've talked about here on the show before who is getting paid a lot of money to play shortstop, and a guy that has been hurt and a guy that has been inconsistent at the plate. But for some reason, over the past 30 games or so, for the past month, really the whole month of June, and now
You're
into
stealing my
July.
thunder.
Yeah. Well, you stole mine, so we're even. So
There we go.
there we go. A guy that has been locked in for whatever reason
Yes.
for the past
Yes.
month, and that
Yes.
is Trevor Story. Trevor Story over his last 30 games has batted .316, 6 home runs,
Yes.
20 RBIs, 5 stolen
Unbelievable.
bases, and he's really carried or helped carry this Red Sox offense without Rafael Devers. Even with Devers in the lineup, you got to wonder if the Red Sox didn't trade Devers, where this team would be offensively with both Devers and, of course, with Story playing better, at least offensively. But that being said, I'm not going to go back and talk about this Devers issue. He's no longer on the team. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I think the situation is what it is at this point, and we have to move on from it. Mistakes were made, I think, on both sides, more so, I think, on management and the front office side. But you also have to look at the player as well, and the player's attitude and the player's ego. So no one was innocent, in my opinion, in this. Both sides are to blame. Now, that being said, we have to look at where this team is right now. Trevor Story obviously contributing. Willie Abreu coming back from the injured list with a inside the park home run and a grand slam. Clay, what are you doing, my man? You're making all sorts of noise on that stream.
I'm sorry
Oh my
about that.
goodness. He's getting
Just
up in the
mute me.
middle of the interview. Oh my goodness. What happens when we do live remotes? There we go. All good.
There we go.
Um, that being said, I will say, I just mentioned Willie Abreu and the young kids as well starting to heat up as well. Roman Anthony starting to swing a little bit of better bat. Marcelo Meyer as well. So, and of course, who could forget about Carlos Narvaez, who has had a really, really significant year, both defensively and offensively. So it's working. I think right now, anyway, I don't want to put the cart before the horse too much, but it's working right now. We take one game at a time. And listen, where things stand right now, both in the American League East and the wild card, we've sung a different tune all year. We've been very doom and gloom, but when the Red Sox come to play, they come to win. And we have to have that mentality, and that falls on the manager. The manager has to have the same mentality as the players to make this work. And we hope Alex Cora does that. I haven't seen it this year. We would hope as time goes on that we do see it. It's a shame that given all the years Alex Cora has had as the Red Sox manager, we're still having these same discussions. But nevertheless, we see a front
That's
office that
unbelievable.
is just not serious about making a significant move. But I just want to go back, Clay, quickly on your Giolito point. Now, normally I would agree with you in this sense that
You always disagree with me,
there's
Kevin. I think
no
you disagree with me just for the principle.
well, if we didn't have any
I'm teasing you, Kevin.
if
I'm
we didn't
teasing
have
you.
any disagreements, I don't think anybody would listen to the show. We can't agree all the
That's
time.
right.
We actually do agree quite a bit on a number of different things. But I will say on this one, I will take a little bit of a different approach, and this is unusual for me because I feel like I would be with you, Clay, on this one normally. But with the way Lucas Giolito has battled back from his inconsistencies and his injury, the way he was pitching in that game against Washington has never gone 8 innings with the Red Sox. I know that he's not getting paid for that, but that being said, he's being paid to pitch and contribute the way he's doing it right now. I see no reason why Alex Cora shouldn't have kept him in to continue dealing. He's a competitor, and obviously he was at 108 pitches when he was taken out. He didn't want to leave the game. That shows the great competition he still has in him. And so, that being said, I believe Alex Cora was right to keep him in as long as he did. And he obviously had to pull him after 7 2/3. Couldn't make it all 8 innings. But that being said, I understand the injury piece. I understand everything else, but I do believe Alex Cora was right to at least keep him in and try to have him in there for 8 innings. Just my opinion.
Well, Alex, you got Kevin on your side, and you know what?
That's
That's a good deal
very
because
rare.
he's a
Very rare.
very analytical person, and he might be right, and I might be wrong. This is what it's all about. 844-249-5247, 844-249-5247. Call in and tell us what you think. And I think we can do some commercials now. Get that out the way. I came inside to charge the
Yeah, I was
battery
going to
because
say, could you tell the people in there that we're trying to do a show?
I'll tell them. I'll tell the Starbucks people, keep it down.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, why don't we say hello to some of our sponsors, and we'll come right back and continue our discussion on the Red Sox. 844-249-5247 is the phone number. I want to say hello now to our good friends Dylan's and Karma, great sponsors of our show that keep us going each weekend here.
Hey, are you feeling a little achy or sore from the cold weather? Then take a visit to Dylan's Russian Steam Bath. At Dylan's Dry Sauna or Wet Steam Room, you can de-escalate, de-stress, and detox your body and mind. A hot place of massage or a variety of oil massages are available. You will enjoy the relaxed atmosphere that features a nutritious snack bar, large screen television, and comfortable lounge chairs to cool off in during your visit. They have 2 convenient locations, one in Chelsea and the other in Quincy. Find them online at Dylan's Russian Steam Bath or call 617-549-3484 for more information. To enjoy your best health, visit Dylan's Russian Steam Bath, where heat, steam, and water have a therapeutic effect.
Ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to feel better, stand straighter, and enjoy daily activities without pain? Then look no further than Karma Yoga,
As one of the more accomplished yoga instructors in the New England area, Kama embraces many different styles of yoga, including vinyasa, slow flow, yin, and restorative, in order to tap into your pranic energy and create a balanced mix of healing, stretch, and strength. Find her and her very affordable classes online at karmadonyoga.com. That's karma, like good karma, bad karma, dawn, like the morning dawn, yoga.com. Okie dokie. I just want to piggyback on your Red Sox thingy. Do we have someone on the line?
We do not, so go right ahead.
Okay, great. Trevor Story. He's my guy too. I think this guy's come around. He's back to. He's getting back to the form he once had. What was it, 4 years ago? And it's bad because he's a right-handed batter. It's going to balance out a lot of the left-hand batters that they have. If they have Story, Narvaez, um, Bregman, and there's a fourth one in there. Gosh, this
Will
game.
your Abreu?
Williams, he's a right-handed guy. So
I'm sorry. So who are you talking about? Righties or lefties?
Bregman, Narvaez, Gonzalez. Oh yeah, Romy Gonzalez
Romy.
and Story. Four right-hand batters in there. And of course, they got Cedar Rafaela, but I think these guys are better hitters than him. To balance out the other all the left-handed batters that they have, and we're talking about the guy down in Pawtucket too. They might bring up as a left-handed hitter, DH.
Yoshida. Yep.
Yoshida. So yeah, they have a bunch of left-handers, and they need Story's bat, and there's a right-hand bat to balance that out. That would help it. They would be in great shape. They would be the scourge of the East. They would just mow down the rest of the teams. I think it's possible. I think it's plausible, and I think it should happen. So if Story continues at the rate that he's going, I see the Red Sox as being as taking over the East.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far in taking over the American League East with the way Toronto and even though the Yankees have lost 5 games in a row, they until we start to see them lose 10 games in a row, then I would be really, really nervous for them. But if I'm a Yankees fan, I don't like what I'm seeing. Now, that being said, you mentioned Yoshida. We expect him to be back hopefully within a couple of weeks. I'm not sure if he'll be able to come back before the All-Star break. But, Clay, I would say help is on the way because, remember, you've got Yoshida coming back. Then you've got Alex Bregman, who we expect to come back very shortly, either before or right after the All-Star break as well. So the Red Sox are able to continue this offensive firepower that we've seen. I know it's only one game against Washington, but keep it going. You played well 2 out of the 3 games against the Cincinnati Reds. That being said, help is on the way, and that both pitching-wise and hitting-wise well. Tanner Houck, obviously, pitching down in Double-A against with the Portland Sea Dogs. He pitched very well. He's obviously recovering from that right flexor strain. 3 hits, no walks, striking out 4 against the New Hampshire Fisher Cats the other day with Portland, and we hope to see Tanner Houck of old when he comes back. Remember, this was the Red Sox All-Star 2 years ago, the only member of the Red Sox All-Star team in 2023. So we would hope to see that the resurgence here of Tanner Houck and his struggles early on, able to come back and perform himself well. Because right now the Red Sox, this rotation is coming together. Obviously, we knew Crochet was going to be the number 1 guy. I think Giolito has slotted himself in as the number 2 behind Walker Buehler. And then you've also, not Walker Buehler, Garrett Crochet. I want to get to Buehler in a minute. He's been on my mind. And then
you might not want to get to Buehler. You might want to leave him out just to keep the conversation above board.
Yeah, right. And then you got, of course, Brian Bayo, who is pitching better as the season has gone on. There's no doubt about it. As I mentioned, he's going later in games, mixing up his pitches, and he's throwing the ball much better. So that's 3 righties right there. At some point, you're going to have to look and see where does a lefty come into the equation here. Oh, excuse me, Crochet's lefty. Oh, my goodness, I knew that too. It's too much on my mind here with these righties and lefties. So you got a lefty leading the pack, and then you've got 2 righties behind it. And the question is, what do you do with the 4th and the 5th rotation spot? Assuming Tanner Houck comes back and is able to pitch like he has before, which we would hope, then you slot him back in. Then the question remains, what do you do with the 5th spot in the rotation? You've got 3 guys right now. You've got Walker Buehler, you've got Richard Fitz, and you've got Hunter Dobbins. Hunter Dobbins obviously rehabbing as well. We expect to have him back. He's on rehab assignment. put on the 15-day IL on June the 22nd with the right elbow strain, so we expect to see him back shortly after the All-Star break. You've got Richard Fitz, but then, of course, you've got the problem that has really persisted all year, and that's Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler 5-6 with a 6.45 ERA. Can he bounce back the way his counterpart Lucas Giolito has, bringing his ERA from exactly identical to what Buehler's is now and bringing that to a 3.6 ERA? I'm not so sure. What I've seen from Walker Buehler this year, I've not been impressed. He's not the same pitcher that he was those many years where he was with the LA Dodgers and contributing to deep postseason runs. This guy was a real stud with them. I remember him, of course, in the 2018 World Series against the Red Sox. But that being said, something's up with Walker Buehler. He's on a 1-year, $21 million deal. The question is, do you consider tossing him? What team is going to take him for that money? The Red Sox move him to the bullpen? Now you got a lot of people out in the bullpen now.
Move him to the bullpen.
Yeah, I think his start against the Nationals here Saturday afternoon is going to be real telling on where things stand
Yeah,
for the future
move him
of Walker
to the
Buehler.
bullpen. You already paid him. You already got him paid. See if you can get anything out of him in the bullpen, because as a starter, he's crashed and burned. So we can leave it at that and just keep moving forward. Okay, that's all I got to say on baseball. I sure hope Hunter Dobbs gets back, because he was a bright spot, the surprise in the pitching lineup. Richard Fitz, I have no faith in, but we'll see what happens. Nobody depends on my faith in order to pitch well. So get in there, Mr. Fitz, and let's see what's going to happen.
And we'll see what the Red Sox. Yeah, well, I just want one or two things. We'll see what the Red Sox position is as you head into the All-Star break. As I mentioned, these series are critical. 2 more games against the Washington Nationals, and then you've got 3 at home against the Colorado Rockies, and then 3 to close out against Tampa Bay as you head into the All-Star break. And then, Clay, the reason I'm harkening on that so much is because the Red Sox series after, and that's, by the way, a 4-game series with Tampa Bay before the All-Star break. Let me read you the schedule, Clay, of the first 3 series after the All-Star break. So after the All-Star break, a couple days off, the Red Sox travel Friday, July 18th, 3 games against the Cubs, who are the best team right now in the National League, behind with the Dodgers right now, record-wise. Then you travel to the Phillies, the NL East leading Phillies, and then you come home to face the Dodgers. So that's 3 right there, 3 teams that are leading their divisions right now, 3 teams with 50-plus wins, the Dodgers, the Phillies, and the Cubs, the series you have to face right after the All-Star break. Why am I talking about the momentum for the Red Sox? This is the time now for the Red Sox to put the foot on the gas, sweep the Nationals, sweep the Rockies, take at least 2, 3 out of 4 from Tampa Bay. Hey, maybe get a 4 sweep for them. But I can't talk this morning. But anyway, that is why I believe it is so critical for the Red Sox to play well here before the All-Star break, because then it gets really tough as you come back. I mean, this is a really difficult schedule. And then right after that, you play the Minnesota Twins. Then you have the Houston Astros come home to face you. So it's a real tough stretch for the Red Sox here. This is why it's so important for them. Foot on the gas here. Keep the offense going. Keep the pitching stabilized, and see what happens where you are at this point after the All-Star break. But if they just take the foot off the gas and, lose 3 out of 4 to Colorado, or get swept by Tampa Bay, or something drastic happens, lose 2 more against Washington, then I can't see how them coming out of the All-Star break facing these 3 division leaders right now in the National League doing anything.
They're going to have to play some tough teams along the way. And this is the time to find out if they got it, we're talking about the time which is going to be after the All-Star break. We'll see if it can happen. They should do the Rockies, but if they don't do the Rockies the way they should do the Rockies, they still have time to come back and get this thing straight before the end of the season if they put it all together. So we shall find out.
That we shall. All right, why don't we go to the phones? Caller, good morning. Welcome on in.
Hey, Kelly from Land.
Hey, there he is. Kelly, good morning. How are you?
Hey, am I the first caller? Well, I beat
you are
anybody,
the first
huh?
caller. You are the first caller. I apologize for the noise in the background there. Go ahead.
That's okay. First, let me say, Clay, that's a nice hoodie I have. You have there. Look at that shirt, that sweatshirt you're wearing. and Kevin, I love the full frontal view you're giving us now.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's been a slight progression, Kelly. You know, we went from no camera to the side view to now the full view. So
yeah,
We wanted to get the best of Kevin. We had to push him to give us this frontal view.
yeah. It's a big upgrade from that Jack of Spades view he was giving us. You know, the side view.
Exactly
the
right.
Cards.
What's on your mind, Kelly?
Hey, if I take this opportunity to congratulate the Free Jacks for winning the championship the last weekend.
It was
I
great.
I mentioned they played the So that's the third year in a row, and they're the first out of this. I have a trivia question for you guys now.
Oh,
he's
flipping the script.
The last professional team to three-peat in a sport.
The last professional team.
That's the trivia question. The last professional team to three-peat.
Chicago Bulls.
The Bulls.
They're the first professional team to three-peat. Since I think you guys got it wrong. I think it's the LA Lakers.
Oh, in the early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So hats off to them. But
hats off to a great local rugby team. And Clay has some news on that, Kelly, that you may be interested in on the Free Jacks.
Oh,
yes.
What do you
We've contacted the Free Jacks, and we're going to be bringing them in for an interview within the next couple of weeks. So you're going to get your wish. You're going to get your wish, Kelly, to talk to the Free Jacks.
Yeah. Yeah, they're owned by a couple of former Patriots. That'd be good. I'll definitely tune in because my daughter plays for the women affiliate for the Free Jacks. She plays for the Beantown women's rugby team.
Right. Well, rugby is a great sport. Yeah, that's right. Owned by former Patriots Nate Ebner and Patrick Chung. Of course, two great Super Bowl winning Patriots with them. And the Free Jacks really founded in 2018, but they've only been around since 2020 in their first season. And they've already won three championships in the sport of what's the league acronym, Kelly, for rugby? Is it MLB, NFL? Is there an acronym for rugby or
the league acronym? I don't know what that is. MLR.
MLR.
Major League Rugby.
Major League. Yeah. MLR. There it is, right there. Yep. And then NRL and the National Rugby League in Europe. But yeah, so we'll be looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, doing that. I appreciate all the baseball talk. You know, I'm not up on my baseball. The only thing that keeps baseball relevant to me is how well and how bad the Yankees are doing in this 5-game losing streak. You know, I'm dancing on the tables for that one.
Well, aren't we all? It's been very interesting to see sort of this. I don't want to say downfall is the wrong word to use, but there's just the inconsistent play the past 5 games or so. Even before that as well, the Yankees just have not looked like a complete team, especially a team that went to the World Series last year.
Call it what it is, Kevin. Call it a downfall. Yes, the downfall of the Yankees.
It's not a downfall. It's not a downfall with all the talent they have. It's not a downfall so long as Aaron Judge is on that team, that's for sure. But I will say, you know, the Toronto Blue Jays are taking advantage of it. And, you know, the Blue Jays were in a position to take advantage of that. And they swept them up in Toronto 4 games, and now they got a 2-game lead in the American League East. And if you're the Toronto Blue Jays, you hope you hold on here if you can go into the All-Star break with the lead over the Yankees, and you got the Rays at their heels as well. And we'll see where the Red Sox finish here in this final couple of games and series before the All-Star break. It's going to be very interesting to watch here in the next 2.5 months of the season where things go in the American League.
Now, Kelly, I've heard that LeBron James might be going to Dallas or Indiana. What do you think about that?
Oh my God, LeBron! He's becoming a real problem for these teams. He's not coming off that salary, and teams are not going to be able to do anything. You know, not going to get the plays. I heard the Lakers got that DeAndre Ayton there.
Yeah, from Portland.
But, yeah, but unless he makes the sacrifice, you know, it's not gonna happen for them. I think he's given up on chasing that title now. I think his sights are his sights are playing with Bryce now. He's the real player.
Kelly, I want to ask you this question.
But,
I want to ask you this question too. The Celtics have been rumored to sign a player that was just cut by the Milwaukee Bucks, and that was, of course, Damian Lillard. Thoughts on that?
No. Maybe for this year, it's just
well,
a
he's
fill-in for Jason Tatum.
No, he's hurt, so
not,
he's not going to play. So the Celtics would have to sign him to not play, and then have him play next year with a healthy Tatum and then a healthy Damian Lillard along with everybody else.
He's just about as durable as Porzingis. So I mean, he spends a lot of time on the sidelines. So I'm tired of these glass players.
Right?
Good player, but you can't really rely on him to make a legitimate run.
Well, Giannis is very upset apparently, given the Damian Lillard being waived. But oh well.
Yeah, it happens. Well, since right quick, I heard the New York Knicks hired Mike Brown.
They did. Yes, I saw that news. Mike Brown coming over after being fired, obviously, by the head coach of Sacramento Kings.
That's good.
Is now the head coach of the New York Knicks, and we'll see what happens.
Nowhere.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think what happened there, the Knicks did not get their guy. They did not get their guy.
Who was the guy? Who was the guy? I have no idea. Who was the guy?
I'm here. I think the guy was Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd.
Interesting. Well, I don't think Dallas was willing to part with him. I think that was the problem.
No, because they're building something special in Dallas. Especially with that draft pick. Because you don't move on from a Tom Thibodeau to hire Mike Brown.
Yeah, exactly right. I saw that, and it was just like I don't really see much difference there.
Right. So,
and I still don't think they should have fired Thibodeau. But.
And
wait a minute. I think you guys are forgetting. We're talking about the New York Knicks, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's on a time clock anyway, because once they find that guy, he's going to be out anyway. So
right, exactly right. Well, we'll see what he's able to do. Maybe he'll bring the Knicks to a NBA championship, something Tom Thibodeau tried to do, was one game away from doing, but couldn't do it. But I have my doubts there with Mike Brown. But, hey, Kelly, thanks so much.
So, great. I'll tune in for that interview. Can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to that in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. I'll talk to you next week.
Take care, Kelly.
Claire, where are you sitting in this Starbucks right now?
I'm sitting in the back. Can you still hear me? I'm muting the mic.
Yeah,
and you're still coming through?
It's all good. I'm only giving you a hard time. Sort of a semi-live remote here. From one great caller to another, let's talk to our friend Wayne. He's on line. Wayne, good morning. Welcome on in.
Kevin, Claire, good morning. How are you both today?
Oh, doing just fine.
Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning. Hey, I'm glad you're talking basketball now. I'm not too crazy about Damian Lillard coming here. Do you think the OKC can repeat? Do you think they have enough to repeat?
Well, I mean, they signaled that they're looking to do that by signing SGA to a record extension. I would think right now Oklahoma City has assembled a young team that is ready to go and ready to compete for a number of different years. I think the Rockets will try to compete by trading Kevin Durant. I think that's proven. Like the Phoenix Suns proved that's just not going to work. So for me, you get teams like Minnesota. Kelly just mentioned Dallas with the sort of their youth movement there with Cooper Flagg, obviously, and they got very lucky drafting the number one overall pick. But I think I'm not going to say that they're going to repeat, but I think all signs are showing that they're retooling to do just that and compete for a long time here, so long as SGA is a centerpiece of that operation in OKC. So I think the expectations is another successful year coming up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's no doubt about it.
And I don't know
what do you think, Wayne? What do you think?
Going to be I don't know. I think it's going to be a new championship, a new team in the championship next year. I don't know if they can repeat that. I think everything broke for them at the right time with all the injuries and Halliburton going down. I think Halliburton definitely they got lucky with that break with Halliburton going down. So I think the league is primed for a new championship. But I don't know what about my Celtics. I think my Celtics are maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years away from being back in the mix again.
Well, as we talked about this last week, we certainly don't expect them to compete for an NBA championship this coming season, given all the injuries. Well, I shouldn't say all the injuries. The Tatum injury feels like all the injuries with the way he's contributed. But with the Tatum injury, I've said the term bridge year, gap year, or however you want to call it. I believe that is where the Celtics do find themselves in right now in this upcoming year. We just lost Luke Cornett, obviously signing a big deal with the San Antonio Spurs, 4 years, $41 million. Good for Luke, getting paid $10 million a year to play for the Spurs. We lost him, and the final free agent that the Celtics still have, Wayne, I know you talked about him before, and that, of course, is Al Horford. And what's interesting to me is that Brad Stevens came out and said, like I said, the quote on the air last week, saying that it was a priority for the Celtics to re-sign Luke Cornett and Al Horford, and obviously not happening with Cornett. And we'll see if the Celtics want to spend some money on Al Horford. A lot of reports out there, a lot of sources saying that he has received interest from a lot of different teams, the Celtics among them, the Warriors. It says that several folks are saying that Al Horford is a leading target for Golden State, under serious consideration by the Lakers, the Warriors. So a lot of these teams, I guess Golden State really, besides the Celtics and other teams, have been the most aggressive in trying to sign Al Horford. So we'll see. I'm not sure about the Lakers now with them bringing in DeAndre Ayton, if there's more room for Al Horford. Remember, we talked about the Lakers and the reason why they weren't able to be as successful maybe in the playoffs is because they never really utilized their big man position. So that being said, is Al Horford going to be able to contribute to help them win an NBA championship? I'm not sure. Or does he just retire? You know, he's won an NBA championship. He's obviously not going to win an NBA championship with the Celtics this year. But given his age, given where he's at in his career, do the Celtics want to give him some money here and continue to be a member of this team? I would not have an issue with it, but I'm not Brad Stevens, so we'll wait and see. Clay, your thoughts on Al Horford? Clay?
Go ahead, Clay.
No, my thoughts are let him go. You know, this guy's 40-something years old or close to it, and we love Al, but he can't be, he's not that player that he used to be. So they have to make a decision, and the decision should be to move on. As far as the Lakers go, I don't see them going anywhere. I disagree on OKC. I think OKC is one and done, like the Seattle Supersonics were way back in the 70s, where they just appeared on the horizon with Dennis Johnson and Gus Williams, and a couple of other guys that just came in and wowed the NBA world. And then after that, they were done. They fell apart. And
so you think they're just a fluke? You think they're just a fluke?
I think they were good for this year. And then after that, they're so young that they can't sustain it.
So you don't think the Celtics should hold on to Al in an advisory role, you know, with developing?
Oh, well, yeah.
I think there's a lot of value. I would love to see them hold on to him and keep that expertise that he has, the institutional knowledge here with us. It will benefit us more than him going somewhere else.
Well, I think you're right, Wayne. Just a matter of what he wants to do. And if the Golden State Warriors, listen, if Steph Curry was healthy in the playoffs, I think the Warriors would have made a deeper run. And that being said, I think the window for the Warriors is starting to close a little bit. Now, the question is Al Horford, if he signs with the Golden State Warriors, does he immediately, bring your team to a championship level? I'm not sure at this stage in his career that he does that. Obviously, he is a great veteran presence, and he'll help your team immensely, but I'm not sure if he's the missing link that the Warriors need to continue their reign of success here in the NBA and get back to the top. Now, that being said, again, it's a matter of what he wants to do. And for Brad Stevens, do the Celtics want to pay him that money for an advisory role? I mean, you just lost Luke Cornett for $41 million to the San Antonio Spurs. Obviously, the Celtics were not willing to pay Luke Cornett that type of money. And if the Warriors outbid the Celtics, maybe Al Horford says to himself, you know what, I still got a little bit left in the tank. I've won one NBA title. Let's try to go for a second. Let's go out west and try to finish my career on top. Or does he go out on a high note, already having won an NBA championship with the Celtics, has established himself here as a great player, and stays here? I think that is a question that both he is going to have to make, and what Brad Stevens is going to have to make as well. That's how really I look at the situation. And again, for the Celtics, I said this last week, given the makeup of the Eastern Conference, even with the injury to Tatum, I still do believe the Celtics will make the playoffs. However, it won't be, of course, as a number 1 or number 2 seed. That is for sure.
Well,
Well,
we will
thank
see,
you.
ladies
Have
and
a great
gentlemen. We
day.
will see.
Great.
I don't know how
Thank you as always,
Al Horford
guys.
thinks he's got all this still left in the tank, but we will see.
Well, I hope they keep him here, and I hope he stays here and helps the next generation and learn the winning ways here at the Celtics. Guys, have a great day. Thank you.
You
Thank
too,
you,
Wayne.
Wayne.
Always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
How's that? Is the sound ambience any better, Kevin?
It's much better. I do hear some. Are they
Good.
doing a race in the parking lot or something? Some motorcycles. What's going on out there in Leicester?
This is Western Mass. I mean,
Oh my
you know,
goodness!
they amuse themselves organically, which is racing motorcycles and trucks and ATVs and tractors. You know, those type of things.
Indeed. It sounds much better than you being in the. I swear you were in the kitchen or something in the Starbucks with the noise and all that. But
Well, I could have been, and also it could have been the earplugs that I was using.
it's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good. This is what happens when we do remotes. But hey, we get to do the show nonetheless. So
we have to be live. Sometimes we
have
just
some
have
good
to.
fun.
Yeah, we have to get out among the public.
Exactly right.
We're going to be doing more remote things, but at a more controlled situation. So yeah,
Clay,
ladies and gentlemen.
just one more thing on the NBA. I wanted to get your thoughts. Have you in here on the Damian Lillard situation and what the Celtics' role in that should be?
Damian Lillard, as you said, won't play this season. Well, neither will Jason Tatum. Can they bring Damian Lillard back? What is he going to be, 37 or 38 years old?
About 35, 34, 35, yeah.
Coming back from an Achilles heel injury, another Achilles injury, and he won't be the same player that he was because of that injury, as we've seen with Achilles injuries. No, I think it would be a grave mistake to do it. I think they would end up being disappointed. Everyone's going to be, the fans and the public's going to be upset half a year into it if they bring him back in 2 years, and he's not that same player. Everyone's going to be down on the team, and the money that you're going to invest in that you could have invested in something else. I think it would be a mistake to do it because he's not going to come back as the player he was.
What did you make of the trade out west with Houston Rockets, giving a lot up to get Kevin Durant?
I think he's serviceable. They know what they're going to get. They know they're going to get a guy who's going to give them 15 to 20 points, 15 to 25 points a night. And they're comfortable with that. He's not the same Kevin Durant he was when he was with OKC or with Golden State, but they know they're going to get these points. They can guarantee it. They know it. Everyone knows that Kevin Durant's going to get you those points, and that's what they're looking for. I don't think they're looking for anything spectacular from Kevin Durant. I don't think they're looking for a superstar. I think they're looking for a steady source of points that they know they're going to get every night, and that's why they made the trade.
Well, if he can stay healthy.
If he can, there we go again. The age.
Talk about made of glass, and especially his age as well. And you're right, not the same Kevin Durant that we have seen with OKC and Golden State years prior. And obviously, again, we've talked about this on the show before, Clay. These super teams that oftentimes just don't work out. And I think the Phoenix Suns of years prior were a perfect example of that with the, developing Devin Booker and then having him around with Bradley Beal, who you're probably going to get rid of, and Kevin Durant, who you traded. That didn't work out in Phoenix, and then some. I mean,
I don't see how they make these mistakes. You got to have a guy for each position, and you basically have Bradley Beal and Devin Booker playing in the guard position, but both of them need the ball. Who's your point guard? Neither one. So, good luck with it. But these guys, they get paid the big bucks to make these decisions, and as we see, sometimes they are not quite up to par where they should be.
Exactly right. So we'll see as the NBA free agency continues on. We should expect to find out where our old friend Al Horford, whether he remains in a Celtics uniform for the upcoming season or he goes elsewhere, dons a Golden State Warriors jersey, a Lakers jersey, or somewhere else that we're not sure. I think it would be tough to see Al Horford in a Lakers jersey and a Warriors jersey for that matter too. But listen, whatever happens to Al Horford, he has contributed immensely both in his first stint and, of course, his second stint with the Celtics and made an immediate impact both times. And he has been a great, great Boston Celtic. And if it is time for him to go, we will certainly miss him. And
we will certainly miss him. Hopefully you will stay in an advisory role, Al, for less money. You don't have to do anything other than come off the bench when you want to. Come off the bench when you want to at the end of games, just to show you still got it in the areas that you want to show, and sit back and advise these young guys on what it takes to stay in the NBA and to succeed in the NBA, rather than go to the Lakers or the Warriors. You don't want to go there. Okay, those teams are just fakes. And do you really want to hang out with Draymond Green? Do you want to be on the same team as Draymond Green or LeBron James? No, you don't. So just stop it right there.
Playing in Philly was tough enough for Al.
Yes,
And,
yes, just stop it. Stay here, Al. Stay here. I just want to touch on the NHL before we go anywhere.
Sure.
And the fact that, the draft picks that they've made. What do you think about that, Kevin? What do you
Well,
think about
we talked about the James Hagan's pick from BC. Good little kid. My one issue with I say good little kid. He's a small little player. The one thing with me is this: James Hagan was supposed to go projected, about a year ago and in months prior to go number 1, number 2, and why he slipped to the Bruins at number 7, I'm not sure. So we'll have to wait and see, if some of those concerns that teams had, will that resonate on the ice? Well, that remains to be seen. But obviously, they pick a kid from BC in your own backyard, and we'll see what happens. But the Bruins have made some interesting signings in the offseason so far. They're bringing back Sean Corrali, who remember from the Bruins from a couple of years ago. They signed him to a 2-year deal. They gave Morgan Geekie a 6-year, $33 million contract extension. They acquired Victor Arvidsson from the Edmonton Oilers and a couple of other small-time signings as well. The one news that came out this week in the NHL, though, Clay, and there was hope. There was hope if you're a Bruins fan for a familiar face to return, but obviously he liked the Florida sun a little bit more than the Boston Winters. And Brad Marchand signing a 6-year contract extension with the Florida Panthers, a team that he was traded to and helped win a Stanley Cup, $32 million. And Clay essentially shutting the door, slamming the door really on Brad Marchand's career as a Boston Bruin. There was a small glimmer of hope. A small glimmer of hope was reported that the Bruins were interested in bringing back Brad Marchand. Obviously, perhaps Brad Marchand was smart enough not to be interested in returning and gets to stay in Florida for another 6 years. And as the Panthers showing no signs really of slowing down in their pursuit to get back to the Stanley Cup for a 4th year in a row.
It's the Bruins who put it out there that they were interested because they know that the fans here in the New England area still love Brad Marchand over the top, totally. We love Brad Marchand, and they put it out there, but they really weren't going to go out there and spend any money to get Brad Marchand. They wanted to do that to pacify us fans or the fans of the Boston Bruins to tell them, yes, we recognize that Brad Marchand is still a viable player, and yes, we're interested in him, but they had no interest in him whatsoever. So Brad Marchand made the play to stay there in Florida, which he well should because he's appreciated down there more so by the management of the Florida Panthers than he was ever appreciated here by the Boston Bruins management ever.
But not by the fans, that's for sure.
Not by the fans. The fans, we love him. Brad Marchand always was that guy, the same way he's that guy down in Florida. He gives you that passion. He gives you that passion every game he plays. And he's an undersized guy who gives you the passion, the grit, and the courage to go against anybody. That's what everybody loves. Everyone loves the guy who's going to stand up to anybody. That's Brad Marchand, whether he's in Boston or Florida. But they recognize it in Florida, the Florida Panthers, and they're making an effort to keep him there. There's 6 years. They don't care how long it takes. You stay there till you can be in an advisory role at the end, which is going to be Brad Marchand. It's going to be too old to play after 40. But just be there and give that, pass it on to the new guys, the type of player that they have to be in order to succeed in the NHL, especially if they're undersized.
Well, too old to play after 40. Tell it to Alexander Ovechkin.
He's a special case now. I don't know if we can compare Brad Marchand to Alexander Ovechkin.
No, I know you certainly can't. That's for sure. But good for Brad. 6 years back to Florida. Anyway, Clay, final 50 or so seconds here on the show. Good discussion today on a number of different topics. We'll see where the Red Sox continue to go, sitting right now 44-45, looking to get back to 500. Game number 2 of the 3-game series against Washington Nationals here, 4 o'clock this afternoon in Washington. Walker Buehler on the mound, which could be one of his last starts, at least in the rotation, with the way things are going. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll continue to monitor the NBA free agency and the NHL moves with the Celtics and the Bruins. And, well, soon enough, it's going to be time to talk about the NFL and the Patriots. But Clay, final 15 seconds for you, my friend.
Go Walker Bueller. Come on, Walker. Listen, he's had some significant injuries. He's not that same player, but I'm rooting for him to come through and at least, be the best player he can for the rest of the season and see where the rest of us go because a lot depends on him.
Have a good weekend, folks. Thanks so much.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Good luck.
Home